Part 1. Scorched by Georgia's midday sun, I stepped off the Army bus at Fort Jackson, sweat instantly soaking my shirt. For grueling Ranger tours overseas, and I barely recognized my own country. The duffel at my side felt almost weightless compared to what I'd brought home inside. Memories, regrets, everything left unsaid from the past few years. Out of habit, I grabbed my phone, expecting Emma, my wife for a dozen years, to text that she was picking me up. Instead, the screen lit up with a message that landed like a punch to the ribs. Don't bother coming home. Locks are changed. The kids don't want to see you. This is the end. My mind stalled. Around me, other soldiers were swept into bear hugs and laughter, but I stood there, rooted in place, letting her words slice through me. Just 3 weeks earlier, Emma and I had talked on FaceTime. Things were tense, sure, but I never saw a total shutdown coming. My fingers hovered, ready to fire off some scathing reply. But I forced myself to breathe, letting the anger fade just enough. Finally, I typed back only 2 words. As you wish. Anyone who spent real time with me knows that's not surrender. It's a warning. In a crisis, when everyone else panics, I don't lose my edge. As you wish is code for, I'll handle things my way. Dialing. I called the one person I knew could handle this. Madison Brooks. Mike Harper. Change of plans. I need your expertise today. Meet me in 2 hours. I flagged down a cab, not to the house where Emma and our kids, Jake, 16, and Ella, 14, apparently decided I wasn't welcome, but straight to downtown Columbia, to the toughest divorce attorney in the city. As the cab pulled out, I shut my eyes and let the shock roll over me. I'd felt betrayal in war zones, but nothing quite like this. Still, I knew how to compartmentalize. This wasn't just personal, it was a mission now, and I never fail a mission. The first move. Madison's office looked like something out of a high-stakes drama. Black marble floors, chrome shelves lined with legal trophies, and Madison herself all sharp lines and cool confidence, her platinum blonde hair cinched tight, eyes that missed nothing. So she waits till you're standing on U.S. dirt to tell you you're out. Madison leaned back in her chair after I'd finished. That's a brutal move. I folded my hands, keeping my tone level. I need options. Fast. She gave me a look that could slice through steel. What exactly does as you wish mean, Mike? I met her gaze, not blinking. It means I'll end this marriage, but on my terms, not hers. Perfect. The ones who lose are always trying to fix what can't be fixed. You're here to win. For the next hour, we put together the first step of what Madison dubbed the Scorched Earth Plan, a set of legal and financial actions scheduled for 9 a.m. sharp. When I left, I was armed with everything needed to lock down Emma's inheritance and freeze our assets before breakfast. Keeping watch. That evening, I rang up my oldest friend, James Carter, who'd had my back since we were kids, long before Ranger School. I need eyes on my place, I told him. Somebody else in the picture? James asked, his voice low. I need the facts, not guesses. You got it. I'll handle it. All night, my phone wouldn't quit buzzing. Emma's name flashed again and again. Calls sent to voicemail, followed by a flurry of desperate messages. Pick up. Where are you? Don't do anything stupid. By 11 p.m., James came through, photos lighting up my screen. There was a dark gray BMW in the driveway, some slick-looking guy in a fitted suit stepping out, Emma greeting him like they'd done this 100 times. One shot captured them hugging out in the open, not a stolen kiss, but a closeness that spoke of years, not weeks. Daniel Foster, James texted. Commercial real estate. He's been there half a dozen times in the last 2 weeks. Kids are familiar. I set my phone on the table and sat back. It all made sense now. For the first night in months, I actually slept, deep and dreamless, my mind finally clearing. First phase locked in. At 9:21 a.m. the next morning, Emma's attorney, Morgan, blew up my phone, his voice crackling with outrage, accusing me of asset manipulation. I ended the call with a slow grin. Mission accomplished, first shot fired. Ghosts of home. Growing up on a farm in rural Ohio, I'd learned young that brains outplay brawn every time. My brothers fought their battles head on. I played the long game. I met Emma Stevens during a weekend pass. Smart, ambitious, loaded family up in Vermont. We got married before her folks could talk her out of it. Jake was born when I was stationed stateside, running tactical drills. Ella came during my 3rd deployment. With every year, the gap between Emma and me stretched a little further. During my second tour, Emma's grandmother died, leaving her a hefty trust fund, but with ironclad clauses. If she divorced, the money stayed off limits till she remarried or hit 55. What Emma never realized. My side hobby was studying financial loopholes. Her late-night text triggered a clause that let me take temporary control of the trust since she'd abandoned the marriage on paper. I'd frozen her accounts without spending a cent. Back in Madison's office for the next step, she handed me a folder thick with findings. "You were right," she said, sliding the file over. "Daniel Foster? Her ex from grad school. They reconnected about 19 months ago, right after you shipped out." I nodded, jaw tight. "And the kids?" Madison's tone softened, just a touch. "Foster's been like a stepdad. Weekend trips, flashy presents. Jake's furious online. Ella seems okay with him around. No new loans, but Foster picked up the house next door a few months ago, probably wants to expand." My chest felt like stone. This isn't a fling, it's a strategy. Exactly. But they got careless. Foster wired $220,000 to Emma this spring legally. That's joint property. She put it into renovations. Plus, she's been draining your shared checking account for bills while running around with him. I took it all in, thinking through the next move. Not enough. I need something to help me with custody. Madison arched an eyebrow. Courts lean toward mothers. You'll need evidence she can't provide stability. My phone buzzed, a message from James. Big news. "Meet me at Joe's Diner." I rolled my shoulders, grabbing my jacket. If the last 24 hours had been about defense, what came next was all offense. Part 2. The diner's neon buzzed in the pre-dawn haze as I slid into the booth across from James Carter. He didn't waste a second, just slid a slim flash drive across the Formica. "Depends what you mean by playing house," James muttered, voice low. "Your wife and Foster? They're not sticking around. They've bought property in Costa Rica, got school forms in for Jake and Ella, everything prepped. They're gone next month, just after classes start up again. Kids don't have a clue yet." Fingers tight around the drive, I shoved it in my pocket, heart pounding in my ears. This wasn't just about moving on, it was about vanishing, burning the whole damn playbook. Some cold, clear determination took over, snapping the world into focus. "One more thing," I told him. "I need into the house tonight. No confrontations, just grabbing what's mine. While they're off at that fundraising event, the kids'll be at Daniel's place with his housekeeper." James's eyes searched my face. "Mike, whatever you're setting up, you know I'll back you. Just don't lose yourself in the process." A lopsided grin crept onto my face, never touching my eyes. "That's why I need them to forget who I am." From the curb, our place looked unchanged, suburban colonial, neat as ever. But stepping inside, it was all Emma's touch now. Leather couches traded for steel gray sectionals, every family photo gone, swapped for bland canvases. I worked my way through every room, taking in every cold, curated detail until I found myself in the old office. Behind a picture, just where I remembered, the safe weighted combination still Jake's birthday. Inside, a fireproof box. I lifted out my grandfather's service medals, my own Ranger commendations, and a thick, sealed envelope. Only took the envelope. The rest, untouched. On Emma's desk, architectural blueprints showed Daniel's big plan, merging our place with the next lot, drawn up just after my last tour. The timing stung. Before slipping out, I checked the kids' rooms. Jake's was the same glorious mess, sports trophies, game posters, and one photo front and center. The two of us, fishing years back. Ella's space, though, looked like a catalog page, purples, metallics, minimalist. Her bulletin board showed concert stubs, ribbons, and a fresh ski photo. Her, Emma, and Daniel grinning like the perfect family. I set the envelope beside the keys on the kitchen counter. Those keys no longer opened anything and faded into the darkness. Morning broke with me sitting across from Grant Parker, ex-Army intelligence, now a PI with a stare that could peel paint. "I need the real story on Daniel Foster," I told him. "No surface crap. I want the ugly." Grant cracked his knuckles and started tapping away on his tablet. "Everybody's got something under the rug. How deep's your shovel?" "Hit bedrock." While Grant dug for dirt, I made my next move, called up Jake's lacrosse coach and set up a chance meeting after practice. The kid froze when he spotted me by the fence. "Dad?" His voice hitched. "Mom said you weren't coming back." I had things to settle first, I told him, keeping my tone steady. "Your mom said I wasn't wanted at home." Jake's mouth twisted. "She told us you picked the Army over us. That you wanted out." "That's not true." I met his eyes. "Are your mom and I splitting up?" Jake scuffed his sneaker in the dirt. Looks like it. He spat out the words. I hate him. Daniel. He nodded, jaw clenched. I reached out, not quite touching his shoulder. Whatever happens, I'm still your dad. Emma's SUV swung into the lot. I stood to leave. Jake's voice chased me. Dad, are you just gonna let him take everything? My mouth was a straight line. Not everything, son. That night, Grant's first report hit my inbox. Foster's clean on paper, Grant said, but there's rot underneath. 3 business partners, all cut out cheap. 1 city inspector quit right after signing off a sketchy deal. The kicker, he targets married women left alone, military wives, business wives, politicians' wives. He plays the confidant, then, boom, files for divorce, grabs the money. I leaned in. Keep talking. In Costa Rica, he's connected, offshore accounts, helps people disappear. He's setting Emma up to vanish, away from U.S. law and her own family. I processed it, chest tightening. How long? 3 weeks. That's when your house sale closes. He'll liquidate everything. Grant hesitated, then added, that envelope? It's a side contract. Her dad set up a trust for you. Protects your Army earnings if things go south. A grin finally broke out. That's the ace I needed. I called Madison. Ready for the next step. Book a joint meeting with Emma and her attorney, tomorrow afternoon. Madison sounded wired. Trust fund showdown, 2 o'clock, your office. Perfect. Their clock is ticking. For the first time in months, hope crept in. Now, the real war could begin. Part 3. Papers stacked between us. I pushed the folder across the polished table. I'll unlock the trust, but there are 2 strings attached. A flash of hope crossed Emma's face, only to be reined in as she squared her shoulders. Her lawyer, Morgan, perched on the edge of his seat. We're listening. First, I said, voice even, Jake and Ella finish out the year here in Atlanta. Standard joint custody, no trips out of the country unless a judge says yes. Morgan nodded, making a note. Fair. And second, I added, holding Emma's gaze, you need to tell them the truth. Not about Daniel or any affair, the truth about what you told Jake and Ella about me. Emma's mouth set hard. You mean I protected them? What was I supposed to say? Hey, maybe your dad comes home in a flag-draped box. I kept my tone measured. You twisted the story. Jake never wanted me gone. Neither did Ella. You told them I'd chosen the Army over them. For a beat, no one spoke. Even Morgan looked away, uncomfortable. I want you to set the record straight, I pressed. Only then do we talk about unfreezing the money. Emma's voice shook a little. And if I say no? I slid another document across, the backup agreement with her father. This heads to the trust board if needed. Your dad honored my service with a side trust. It overrides everything else. Emma paled, reading the clause. He wouldn't do that. He knew what it meant to sacrifice, Emma. He saw how you could be ruthless, too. This was his insurance. Seconds ticked by. Then she tapped the table. Fine. I'll talk to them. But this divorce? Still happening. That was never in question. I nodded, short and sharp. Late-night messages. That night, my phone buzzed. Jake, Mom told us everything. Why didn't you reach out? Me. I had to make sure I'd really be part of your lives. Jake. So, you're home for good. Me. No more tours. There was a long silence. Then Ella. She's upset at Mom. Crying in her room. My heart ached. I texted back. Tell her I want to see you both this weekend at my place. Ella. You have a place? Me. I will by Saturday. With things speeding up, I needed a stable home fast. But first, I had to take Daniel Foster off the board. Grant's deep dive. Grant Parker's investigation ripped back the curtain on Daniel's scam. He'd been running a shady real estate game for years. Through shell companies, he bought up properties, slapped on cheap upgrades, then ran up fake appraisals and resold them to investment circles that included women he dated, just like Emma. If you read the fine print, it wasn't illegal. But Daniel buried the risks. 3 of his exes lost fortunes before catching on. And Emma? She'd already dumped $1.2 million of her trust into his latest resort project down in Costa Rica. The land? Real enough. But the permits, roads, and profits all smoke and mirrors. So the plan is he takes her, and the cash, out of the country, I said. Right, Grant replied. Once she's out, she's isolated. He'll make sure she's got nowhere else to turn. Despite it all, part of me still worried about Emma. She betrayed me, sure, but she was the mother of my kids. Maybe she'd just fallen for the wrong act. I need court-proof evidence, I decided. Grant nodded. And you need it fast. What's next? We set the hook. I give Foster what he thinks he wants. Staring down the devil. Daniel's office gleamed, mirrors, chrome, not a speck out of place. He flashed a cool, fake smile as I came in. Mike, this is a surprise. He took the power seat. I stayed standing. I figured we should be straight with each other, I said. His eyes flickered. Emma's made her choice. That's why I'm here. I'll sign the house over, won't block the divorce, won't stand in your way. He arched an eyebrow. And I want full access to my kids, plus a fair financial settlement. Daniel's jaw tightened. How much? $2 million. Less than what court fights will drain from you. He hesitated, mask dropping for a heartbeat. I'll run it by Emma. You've got a day. What he didn't know, the office was wired. Grant's camera caught every word, admissions of backdoor deals, custody games, the whole setup. The trap tightens. That night, Daniel pressed Emma to take the offer. She doubted, said I wasn't built for business, but the promise of a quick escape to Costa Rica pulled her in. Together, they mapped it all out. Let custody look clean, then vanish. Their voices on tape, plus the money trail, was all I needed. By morning, Daniel was ready to sign. I spent that night in Madison's office. This could backfire, she warned. Entrapment, if a judge is picky. I shrugged. The proof's overwhelming. Shell companies, fake deals, custody violations. Madison considered. And Emma. I stared her down. It's not about Emma anymore. My kids come first. Lines crossed. Right before dawn, Ella showed up at my hotel, face streaked with tears. Mom doesn't know I left, she whispered. Jake helped me. I let her in, my chest tight. Why didn't you fight for us? She searched my eyes. I wrote you every week. I waited, but you never called. I knelt, voice thick. I'm fighting now. She sobbed, resolve in her gaze. Mom's selling everything. She says we're leaving. You don't have to, I promised. She wiped her face. Daniel says I signed papers. I can't stop it. Sometimes people wear masks, Ella. Sometimes you need truth to save others. She stared at me. Are you going to hurt him? Not with fists, I told her. But I won't let him steal our family. She nodded, and I knew there was no going back. The real showdown was hours away. Part 4. Ella's words shook as she whispered, he treats us like we're clueless. He told Jake to act like a man. Keep saying you never cared about us. She pulled her sleeve up, and I sucked in a breath. Last week, he grabbed Jake during an argument. Left real bruises. A dangerous calm settled over me, my thoughts sharpening like broken glass. When did that happen? Thursday, she murmured. Mom has no idea. I swear. I let out a slow breath, steadying my hands. Go home, Ella. Tonight's the last time you deal with this alone. Tomorrow, everything's going to change. With James's help, Ella snuck back inside undetected. I waited outside, heart pounding, until her bedroom light flicked on. Only then did I let myself breathe. That night, I rang up Madison. Daniel Foster crossed the line, I told her. We're kicking off Phase 3 now. And I want an extra card on the table. Showdown in the Skyline office. Sunrise found me marching into Foster Development's glass wrap tower. Daniel Foster was already waiting, flanked by his legal team, grinning like a wolf. Mike, appreciate you coming, he said, holding out his hand. I stared right through him. Where's Emma? He waved me off. She's let me handle the numbers. She'll sign when she arrives. Not happening. Both parents need to be here, or this stops now. He shot a look at his lawyers, then grabbed his phone. As he dialed, Madison arrived, not alone. She'd brought Mark Reynolds from the FBI. When Reynolds flashed his badge, Daniel's lawyers stiffened. Consider this insurance, I told Foster. Emma on her way? His voice faltered. She'll be here in 20. Perfect. Madison handed out packets. Lifting the curtain. Inside those folders were bank statements, shell company records, emails, all spelling out Daniel's con. Fake renovations, cooked appraisals, selling to partners he was dating. Daniel's laugh was thin, desperate. This is blackmail, he tried. Just receipts, I said. You targeted my wife and 3 other women, and you laid hands on my son. I pushed a photo of Jake's bruised arm forward. Daniel's face blanched. I'd never. We have witness statements, I cut in, revealing affidavits from neighbors and coaches. Right then, Emma appeared at the door, freezing when she spotted the FBI. What's going on? She stammered. Mrs. Harper, Reynolds said gently, please join us. I softened my tone. We're talking about your $1.2 million investment in Costa Rica. Emma's face twisted. That was supposed to be our future. Madison laid out land records, bare earth, worth a fraction of what Daniel claimed. Emma's hands shook. This can't be right. This has to be a mistake. Daniel tried to talk over her, but Reynolds shut him down. I'm afraid not. Mr. Foster, you're under investigation for fraud. His lawyers panicked, shuffling papers. Emma just stared, stunned, as the reality sank in. Mom, he hurt me. Jake's voice came from the hallway, pointing at the photo. You hurt my son, I said, voice level. Daniel's denial collapsed as 2 more FBI agents stepped in. In less than a minute, he was cuffed and led away. Picking up the pieces. Left in the echo of Daniel's downfall, I sat in silence with Madison and Emma. The office was suddenly too big, too bright. Emma looked at me, tears streaking her face. Why did you protect me? Why not just let me fall? I did it for Jake and Ella, I told her quietly. They didn't ask for any of this. Her voice was tiny. What happens now? I stood, finding new strength. Now you're honest with them. You tell Jake and Ella the whole story about the lies, the fraud, and what happened with Daniel. Then, together, we figure out the next step. As I walked toward the elevator, Madison at my side, Emma called after me. Did you ever love me? I hesitated, turning halfway. I loved you enough to walk away when you said that's what you wanted, and enough to fight when you were in danger, but not enough to forgive myself for letting things get this far. Outside, morning sun poured over the city. I took a breath of the new day, feeling for the first time in years that maybe, just maybe, it was possible to start over. Part 5. Jake's words hung in the air, heavy as lead. I wanted to tell you about my arm, he whispered, eyes down. But I thought you'd stopped caring. The pain of it cut straight through me. I dropped to one knee beside him, grounding myself. Jake, look at me. There's nothing you or Ella could do to make me stop caring. I'll always be here to protect you. That'll never change. His eyes flickered, hope shining through. Yeah, I get that now, Dad. From down the hall, Ella called out, Dad, Mom's here. Emma stood in the living room, jeans and an old college sweatshirt, her hair tied back and face bare. The old armor was gone. What remained was the woman I used to know. Can I have a minute with your father? She asked. Why don't you guys grab your bags for the weekend? When the kids disappeared, she glanced around the house. Her shoulders eased. It feels like home again. I nodded, a small smile forming. The kids are lighter, happier than I've seen in a long time. Her eyes glistened, and for a second, the wall between us dropped. Jake's grades are up. Ella's opening up to me again. I owe you an apology, a real one, not some lawyer's draft. I'm not looking for apologies, I said. Just safety and peace for the kids. She shook her head, voice thick. No, Mike. I let fear push me into the arms of someone who never deserved it. I lied to Jake and Ella. I tried to erase you. That was wrong. I studied her, calm inside at last. The anger was gone, replaced by something steadier. You nearly destroyed this family. But I held the line for our children. Emma winced. Collateral damage. Maybe, I said. But I accept your apology for the kids' sake. We'll co-parent. Nothing more. Tears spilled over, but she nodded. I'm not asking for us. I just needed you to know I regret it all. When Jake and Ella returned, we managed an awkward hug, one last gesture of old habits. The moment passed. What was broken stayed broken, but nothing unspoken remained. That evening, I settled on the back porch, sipping whiskey, staring at the sky. My phone buzzed. James, how'd it go? Typed back. Regrets, apologies. The usual. Some things can't be fixed. He called right away. You know, forgiveness isn't really about her. Sometimes it's for you. Don't need it, I said. I just need clarity, and I've got it. He chuckled. Clarity? That why you're sitting alone, drinking whiskey at midnight? A wry smile crossed my lips. I'm celebrating a win, James. Mission's done. His tone softened. No, buddy. That was punishment. The real mission now is coming home. I stared up at the stars, the same ones I used to watch on desert nights. James was right. The fight was over, but making peace was a whole new challenge. 6 months later, the divorce was final, civil, no fireworks. Joint custody split right down the line. Daniel Foster was in prison, assets locked up, his empire in shambles. Most of Emma's trust was restored. Costa Rica was a forgotten nightmare. I'd bought a place near the school, a fresh start, for bedrooms, no ghosts. I'd partnered with other ex-Rangers to launch a security firm. We'd built something solid, another brotherhood. Spring sun poured down on the lacrosse field as I watched Jake play for the state title. Ella cheered from my right, her voice raw from excitement. Emma sat on the other side, Close enough to feel like a team, far enough to keep the boundaries clear. A woman with curly brown hair leaned in. He's got a real shot. Scholarship material, I'd say. I looked over and she grinned. Olivia Sinclair, Northwestern. Recruiter. Introductions rolled off my tongue, easy as breathing. Olivia and I talked through halftime about Jake, the game, Chicago winners. Ella nudged my elbow. Dad, hot chocolate? I handed her cash. Emma and Olivia traded polite smiles, future and past in one quick glance. As Ella scampered off, Olivia pressed a business card into my hand. If you ever want to talk lacrosse or coffee, let me know. I'll be in town through Sunday. Her fingers brushed mine, a spark I hadn't felt in years. For once, I didn't shy away. Maybe it was time. Jake's team pulled off the upset, and we celebrated with burgers. Ella teased me all the way home. Dad, she so gave you her number. Just for recruitment, I joked, but the smile lingered. Later, Emma texted. She might just be the one for you. I paused before answering. We'll see. Managing expectations. You deserve happiness, she replied. So do you. So do the kids. Thanks for today. No reconciliation, no fairy tale. But for the first time, the battlefield was quiet. We'd chosen peace, bound together by our kids, headed down separate roads. Next morning, I laced up for a run, Olivia's card in my wallet. The fight was over. I'd won the war that mattered most. Now, I was finally home and ready for whatever came next. The end.